a little bit scary. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but you responded to trolls.
Yeah.
You did it not only once, but twice.
True.
And I have a lot of opinions on this because I used to be like that as well. But I think that it's ultimately unproductive because I feel like they benefit more from you giving them legitimacy, especially if they're coming at it from not like the standpoint of constructive criticism, but instead simply to gain clout. How do you feel about that?
So the way I look at it is I always give people the benefit of the doubt that where they're coming from is a place of good intentions. And I feel like at the core, there was a conversation to be had about the topic, regardless of who was opining on it. So like, it wasn't just a troll. Like I still feel like other people had legitimate criticism of it. So I wanted to tackle it more from that perspective while also maintaining that I disagreed with certain aspects of the situation. I understand where you're coming from, but I always view everyone as coming from a place of like actual care, even though I know that's not always going to be it. Not everyone's genuine.
Once I realized that it cultivates an audience basically for the other party, I don't think it was an accident that like shots were fired in your direction almost immediately after the Sneako thing.
I understand that kind of personality exists. I just never really believe it till I see it. Because I just feel like people naturally don't want to foster a community like that.
Yeah,
like
that's what I thought too.
Yeah, I just feel like no one really wants that kind of audience in the first place. So it wouldn't be like if it happens, it's something they didn't plan on or things got misunderstood or lost in translation.
I agree with you. I do think that some people do want that because they see the short-term benefits and they don't necessarily think about the long-term consequences of having an audience like that. I've said this to a lot of people who do this kind of content over and over again, that like it's not a sustainable business model for you if you're a content creator and you're like constantly going after like whoever you think is like on the downtrend and like pile onto it and, you know, cut commentary, no matter how silly it might seem. You might actually get like a bunch of haters of that person to come and watch your channel for that brief duration. But your view counts are gonna drop off immediately afterwards because they're not there for you. They're not necessarily there for your commentary. They're there to just like shit on the person because they don't like them for whatever reason. And it creates a very toxic space for them.
I don't think that was Charlie's motivation by any means. Why did you choose to respond?
That's not what I was talking about.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I think there really was a core discussion to be had on it. Like, I recognize that I also wasn't super clear, so I thought it was maybe a big misunderstanding on the whole situation and things getting tossed around and getting lost. Now I recognize that was never really the intention behind it, to have a conversation about it. But even still, I just never subscribed to the belief that people want that for their own personal community, right?
Well, I'm here to tell you that they certainly do.
It's possible. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like to believe people enjoyed that because that's just existing in a perpetual shit headspace.
Yeah.
Surrounded by people that you also probably don't even like.
Yeah, no, literally. I think it is very toxic. And there are a lot of spaces like that online, especially in like the lolcow side of things, where like there's a lot of communities that basically gravitate towards that kind of content because I think we're living in dark times overall. And I think that the more things seem uncertain, the more people's futures look worse and worse, the more they gravitate towards that kind of thing. It's just another kind of disease of despair. Whether, some people go to alcohol, some people go to drugs, some people go to gambling, and then others go towards this kind of commentary and content that, like, doesn't really make them feel good, but it at least makes them feel better in comparison to whoever they see on a pedestal that's, like, being brought down a peg. It's like this accountability politics, which there is a place for, I think. And I do think that constructive criticism is an absolute necessity. I think that's a very good thing. I just feel like a lot of the people that take advantage of that better nature of content creators end up making it harder for everyone to even have a charitable and constructive conversation.
That was a powerful segment.
That's a good segment.
Especially piggybacking off of wieners and
Yeah,
all
I know.
that,
This is what we like to do.
Crucified
We've
on
really
cock.
covered everything.
We can go out on a lighter note. You are a cock expert. What nickname do you have for your penis?
I've never nicknamed it
That's
in my life.
insane.